Let's try the audio on transaction. It's 40 minutes left. I'll be starting today's session of Microsoft Excel. And we're going to be doing the basics of Microsoft Excel. So we're going to start in almost 2 minutes. Looks like we are on all platforms. Are we on all platforms? Need to edit. Looks like we are going to be getting this. Oh, it did not modify. Actually, it did. That's Excel. And let's go to the YouTube section. As soon as we have it all started up, that is the timer that we usually set up for. That's how long it takes to get everything up and ready. So meanwhile, if anyone wants to join in, they can open up their Excel and we will continue from there. We have a minute left. Get ready. Get your coffee, popcorn, as long as you don't have butter. It's gonna hit your keyboards. Right? Alright, if everyone has their Excels ready, because we apparently don't, let's figure it out where our Excel is this time. Alright, so the Excel we're going to be using would be Excel 2007. And we're just going to be setting it up, and the version that anyone can use will be obviously whichever is installed. Configuration is getting processed. Well, yes, done, getting done. Just we changed the system in the morning, so we're trying to get everything set up. And this is probably the first time we ran the Excel on the system. All right, we are ready. With Excel. That's what it looks like. Now, since everybody saw what it looks like, everyone should know what Excel is. And we should be good to go. Thank you for today's session, and we shall continue. Okay, let's start with the what do you do in Excel? You do your calculations, you do your maths, you do your tables, you do your charts, you do all the hanky-panky stuff you can do with numbers. Technically, that's basically what you do. In Excel, what we will be doing today is going through making how to make tables and putting some colors and some formatting around. Who will benefit from this? Uh, Everyone who wants to play with make a grocery list, make an account chart for yourself, figure out what you need to do with your bonus structure. You are working from home and you got to do some things that need Excel. That's what you're gonna learn here with some commands. Okay, first we'll just make a table. Formatting, or how do you create? First you figure out your titles of the rows you're gonna name. So one is rows and columns. You always get confused with that, so we're not gonna explain that right now. Um, yeah, one of them is rows, one of them is columns. Which one is which one? You kind of figure it out. We're gonna go with what does not make our life hard. All right, let's say title item. We either double click or type in whatever you need to do. Just type it and just make it happen. Now you go to B1. This is B1. I don't know if the cursor is visible or not. We're gonna go to B1, mark yellow. We're gonna call it description. All right. Now, description is a little longer than the current size. So what you do is you click somewhere else and you double click on in the in the center of or this line between B and C. I don't even know if you can see the cursor or not. I don't think so. Let's see if I can change the setting. Da, 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 da. Where is the cursor setting? Output stream. No. Guess I'll have to go and figure where it was. Hmm. I guess we'll figure it out later. So you just change the size. You click on between B and C. There's gonna be a bar. You can resize it however you want your cells. So if you want the cell to be almost half of this, you move it around. If you want it to be default size of what the text is, you just double click on it, and I don't know why the cursor is not showing. So you have the description, and we will do a no fill, so we do not have a background. Now we will work in this place where we will call it, let's say, what do we want to call it? Item description code. For people who are selling stuff online, they can add codes for those. We will take the coloring out. We're gonna not start keep coloring every time. Okay, let's say we add, let's try to make it simple. Let's just add the price. All right, now you go to the next line, A2. Let's say an item, let's see, what are we selling? Let's try to sell car parts. All right, let's try to sell car parts. Car parts. Item is a mirror. Or should we say side mirror? Let's just say side mirror. No, mirror. All right, description. Let's say side mirror. Code. Let's put a code. Side mirror 001. And let's sell it for $150. Either you put the dollar sign first and then type 150, or you type 150 50, hit enter, and then you make sure you highlight that cell again, and then you click on this dollar looking thingy. There you go. I sorry don't know where the cursor is, but it should. Let me see if I can change it from here. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, can you see my cursor now? Can you see my cursor now? La 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 la. The cursor is moving around. Perfect. All right. So we want to add another item. Let's say muffler. And the description, truck muffler. Let's call it truck muffler 001, and let's sell it for $200. All right, so you have this. Now, reason we do not have the .00 after the 200 is because the formatting is not as the same when you click on this button. When you click on this button, it'll by default give you the two zeros. Done. If you don't want the two zeros, or you just click on remove and decrease decimal or increase decimal. So let's increase a decimal. There you go. Let's decrease a decimal. There you go. Want to keep going? Let's go one more, one more. Go back to default. You go there. Now let's go and add something else. Let's add a tire. Now let's add a car tire. Let's call it car tire 001. And then now let's sell that for 50 bucks. Done. Formatting again. Let's sell something else also. Ah, gearbox. Okay, car gearbox, and we'll call it car gearbox 001. And now we will put a price on that, which will be 300. This time we'll put the 00 ourselves. That's how it looks like. See the difference? Even if you put the 00, your formatting is not going to be the same as. So once you click on this, this is just a shortcut of going right click, clicking on format cells, clicking on currency, doing all of that stuff. You just click on this button, makes it life simple. All right. Now once the life is simple enough, we shall move on to the next one. Let's add something else. I don't know what is the phone connecting to, but not this laptop, and not sure what phone it is connecting to the Bluetooth. You can still hear my voice, right? Let's try to sell a dashboard. I don't know if they sell dashboards. All right, let's try to sell a truck dashboard. Maybe I don't even know trucks after. Yeah, trucks dashboard. Truck dashboard. Let's move to the naming or the code. Truck dashboard 001. Let's sell that dashboard for $600. Now, if you notice, once you type 600, you enter, it'll automatically figure out that this is the formatting you are following, and it'll automatically do it. So, you just need to figure out after a few, this is the format you're doing. To resize, let's see if the cursor, yeah, the cursor is there. Let's see, the default resize is this. If you want to make sure that you can see the dashboard proper and you don't take too much space, you just double click on this thingy, and then it opens it up. If you don't want to do it every single one of them, and let's say if you have 11 rows filled and you need to realign all of them, you just click on this one and you double click on any one, and it will automatically do a self adjustment based on all the contents that are in that cell. So now since we have all of that done, we will go ahead and try to make this small table a little bit fancy. How do we do that? Let's try to highlight all of this, which is going to be our title of this table. And once we highlight it, let's give it a background. Let's say we have a black background. Now we don't see the text, so let's make the text white. And now let's say we want to make this table a little more fancier. Now, one option is you can highlight this, and there are in this Excel, where was that option for themes? You can go into the theme options and you can select whichever theme you want to pick. So let's try to see what happens when we click on Technic theme. All of the stuff would be changed out. Now, if you cannot see it, let's copy it. Let's paste it here and then make the changes so it is more visible. So you see the fonts will change, the text size and all that stuff changes based on the design you pick. And that is a simple way of using a pre-existing theme of tables. Or you can just go to tables and install or create a new one that we will go through separately. We're just trying to do a manual creation of tables. Let us undo or remove this, and another way of removing all of them, if you have text underneath here and you have text all the way down somewhere, all you do is you highlight in the top all of them, right click, delete, and it is history. Now, one of the good things about Excel, or the best thing about Excel, is once you know Excel, you can literally do anything and everything with project management. You can, other than teaching someone, you have your calculations. You can pick files from a folder. You can pick from a remote resource or source, or you can do macros. You can do a lot of things that it's just like a mini programming thing for you. Let's try to add all these numbers. So let's try to add it in D15. How do you add all of them? What formula do you use? You just simply type in equal SUM. You pick on sum, oh, or you click on here, and then you enter whatever you want. Or if you do not want to enter, you just open a bracket, you highlight everything, whatever you need to be added. You can also multiple boxes if you have all the numbers. We'll just keep it till here, which is till D12, and we will close the bracket. So which means it will give you a sum from D2 till D12, D2 till D12. If there is nothing there, it's not gonna add anything. And you hit enter. Oops, that is a messy thingy. Why is this a messy thing? This is a messy thing because the size of the cell is not big enough for all these numbers to be there. So what we do is we double click here and gives you that size. So we have a shopping cart of 1300. This is the simple way of doing sum. Now let's say, should we do the subtractions? Yeah, you can. Let's do the subtractions. Now let's say if you need to remove a cost of something from a cell, Excel is wonderful with that. You just type in equal to, you click on what do you want the number to be removed from. So we want 1300, and from this we want to remove, let's say 600. That's your number. And what happens if your cost or the price of the dashboard changes? It changes your thingy here, but it does not change, if you notice. Why? Because the difference is going to be there. Let's go with 100. Aha. So 800 minus 100, 700. Now let's go back to 500 and let us remove this negative, and we will make it a little multiply thing. So let's say we have 5 and we have let's put it in there. You have 5 and then you have 6 and you need to multiply them. Equal sign, you select 5, you put the asterisk sign, shift 8, and then you click on 6 and then you enter. That will multiply. That's how you do the multiplication. Let's delete this and go back to the cell part. Alright, now the 1200, let's see if we want to make this a subtotal. So if you want to make it a subtotal, you can either write subtotal here, write a subtotal here, or write a subtotal here. You can do all the fancy stuff, or you can make these two one cell by simply highlighting them both. Make sure you have your home ready. And we'll do the magic by clicking this button, merge and center. Now let's click on this and type in subtotal. Cool. Now let's see if we can make this a small little funky little box thing. We'll click on the borders and we'll not click on the border, we'll just click on the drop down of it. And we'll click on all borders or outside borders. Let's try the outside first. When we click on outside borders, look, there's a border. Now we have a border line here, but we have all these grid lines. Let's see how we take the grid lines out. Click on view, take the grid lines out, and you see how your table should look like. Ooh, not that fancy. Now let's go back here and click on all of these, and let's go back to home. And now let's click on outside borders. A little fancier, better. Let's make it a little more fancier. Now we need to give it a space. Let's give it right click on the row, insert. You got some space here. Okay, we need some space on this side too. Right click on A, and then you click on insert. So you got space. Now you can also resize it. Now you have this much. Let's see if we want to play around a little more. Let's highlight only the items and all the stuff. Now we shall see if we want all borders. What does all border do? All border makes it all like a table. That's how it will be printed. Let's see here. How is the net going? Are you surviving there? For some reason it's showing offline, but it is online. Online. It does show, and audio is working too. Probably on this side it's tiny. Okay, better. Is it better now? Cool. This should be better now. So, what we have done so far, not sure if the video was that big enough or not. We shall continue. If we need to, we'll go through it back and try to zoom it and make it a zoom clip in. All right, so we have these things ready. Now, one thing that is very common is pivot tables, are pivot tables. How do you make pivot tables? What do pivot tables do? All that stuff you can Google. We're just gonna show you how to do it. Just short and simple. Highlight what you need. Go to insert. Go to pivot table section. You're gonna enter a pivot chart or table, and either you will or use an external worksheet where you want it, or you will new sheet, or you will do it on the existing worksheet. If you don't want to bother with anything, you just click on where you want it and it will pick it, the range. So this is your range. Now, if you want to change it from here, you can do that. Now, if you want to keep it on this existing worksheet, you click on here, you click here, and then you click back. So the data you are taking from is in this section. Later on, if you need to change whatsoever, you can come back and just edit it. So let's say we want to take more. We want to take E8, 9, 10. So you can just change it to E10 and choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. Either existing worksheet or a new worksheet. We're gonna pick with existing one. And in existing, either you can type it manually or you can click on this little thingy and go wherever you want to show your table. Go back and hit OK. That is what your pivot table will look like in the beginning. Now, once you have this ready, it is just plug and play. You not really plug and play, you click plug and play. You have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. Let's try to put all of this information in and then we'll try to play around with them. Now you move your, let's say you want the values of, or let's put this here, items. So if you want to pick by item anything, you can pick stuff by item. If you want your main selection to be by description, you can pick by description. We will keep it by item, and we will keep no, we'll try to just keep them all on one side and then see where do you go. Useless data out. Yes, we know we cannot move that outside there. All right, count, because it's counting. We are going to value field settings. Right click, go into that. You want the sums, you do the sums, not the descriptions. My bad, what am I doing here? Right. Right. You have all items, you have dashboards, multiple selections, you pick whatever you need. It'll show you. You want all of them, it'll show you all of them. And the price, you put it here, and the description, you put it on that side. Or you go with this part. Let's go with the sum on it. If you want to have your codes with the descriptions, you can have those as well. So how will pivot help you? Now pivot will help you if, let's say, insert, insert down. All right. Now let's say you have another mirror. Did we turn the num block off accidentally? Mirror, and you have other side mirror. And this one has other side mirror 001. And this is for also 150. Now what happens? We refresh it. Ah, you have another side mirror with an E. There you go. Let's refresh it now. And we can take the blanks out. So if you have mirrors, let's go with mirrors only. You have two mirrors. You have side mirror and you have other side mirror in your shop. So if you're looking for mirrors only, you have only two types of mirrors in your shop, and you have the prices for that. Let's change one price to 250, and let's refresh it here. Oh, it changes here right away. Now, grand total and all that stuff, you can right click on it, you can remove the grand total. That is your listing. If you want to treat it as an inventory, if you want to treat it as a price list, if you want to, pivot tables do wonders. So we shall today stick with the pivot tables and call it a day for that. How long have we been on for? Let's check it out. Kind of weird, can't even tell. I guess this is using. All right, so that would be it for creating tables, adding numbers, making pivot tables, and making your table a little fancy. You can just highlight the table, um, highlight whatever you need to highlight, right click, format cells. Once you format cells, you can align, you can horizontally align, vertically align. You can change your fonts. How do they look? The size of the fonts. You can also control the borders of the table from here and the fill, which is the background. So let's say we fill this section with sample of this. So we have a background of this color. Let's undo it. It's kind of too much messy. You can do the fill quick from here, or the text color can be changed from here that we did already. How you make the fonts bold, italic, add underlines, increase or decrease font size without going into the properties. All your alignments are here, middle align, center align, wrap text. We will do that once we actually just do a wrap text quick. We'll merge them. Nah, let's do the wrap text after. It's a little different. Right, so that would be it for the session for Excel, creating table, small little tiny add-on, and adding a pivot table to your Excel. That should be it. See you guys soon.